Alright guys, now the passage that we have is a long passage, and this is reading section 3, and reading section 3 is same for academic and for gender training IELTS candidates. Now there is no difference. We have a long passage, and the good thing is we have a list of headings. That's very good. I can teach you how to deal with list of headings. And another good thing is that there are more one word only sentence completion questions. So whenever you start your reading test, whenever you start with any section, the first priority should be sentence completion. Then the second one can be true, false, not given, yes, no, not given, and then as per your understanding, you can take up other questions. Okay. So anyways, let's make a start. Title is Night Photography in Autumn. Now we understand the whole passage is about night photography in autumn. Autumn is one of the seasons, right? So night photography in autumn, and passage is labeled A, B, C, D. Whenever they label the passage, there may be type B questions. What is type B question? Where questions and answers are not in order. Okay, so we call them type B questions. Night photography in autumn. Okay, now we've got questions 35 to 40, one word only, and list of headings. So where should we start from? One word only, because they are 6 questions. So at least you will get 6 questions in your pocket, and then you can play with list of headings. Okay. Question number 35. November is a time when something grows. Now we go back and see November. November is your clue word. Look for November. First paragraph. Well done. November in the northern hemisphere. Now what do we need to find? When something grows. Okay, I'm reading it from second line. The days shorten appreciably as winter approaches, and the last autumn leaves are blown free by high winds and frequent rain. Nature seems dormant as many birds have long since flown to warmer climates. Fungi break through the earth. Fungi break through the earth. Breakthrough means grow. When we use the word break through the earth, means it breaks the earth and comes out of earth. So that means grow. For grow, they use the word breakthrough. Breakthrough and grow, they are synonyms. Answer is fungi. Who said bhangi? It's not bhangi, it's fungi. Yeah. Okay. Question number 36. The apparent size of the moon depends on its position. What do they mean by its? Moon. Exactly. The apparent size of the moon depends on its position in relation to the dash. In relation to is clue word. In proportion to and all that. Now, let's see. Look for the word moon. Paragraph B. I'm reading paragraph B from second line after full stop. The timing of an evening moonrise is important to know, because not only does it vary according to the time of year, but the moon always appears largest at this point when it is closest to the horizon. When it is closest to the horizon. So the apparent size of the moon depends on its position in relation to horizon. When it is closest to the horizon. Come back again. Okay, they say here timing of an evening moonrise is important to know, because not only does it vary according to the time of year, but the moon always appears largest at this point when it is closest to the horizon. So it means when the moon is closest to horizon, it is large. When it is far from horizon, it is small, right? So the size of the moon depends on horizon. In relation to horizon is the right answer. Question number 37. Sunlight is reflected by the dash of the moon. Something related to moon. Sunlight is reflected by the dash of the moon. Same paragraph. To capture the moon, I'm reading paragraph B from middle. To capture the moon at its brilliant best, you need a bit of luck too. A time when its brightest phase, a full moon, coincides with the ideal weather forecast of a cloudless night sky. The moon is not a direct light source such as the sun or the stars. Instead, it is reflecting the light of the sun hitting its surface. It means surface of the moon. So what is the answer? Surface. Sunlight is reflected by the surface of the moon. And by the way, if you know a little bit about astrology, you can answer this question without reading the passage. Sunlight is reflected by the surface of the moon. Question number 38. When the night sky is clear, many objects in the dash, for example, buildings are visible. Many objects in the something. So, same paragraph after surface. On such a night, a full moon will reflect only about 10% of the sunlight, but that is still enough to illuminate building, trees, bridges and other landscape features. So what is the answer? Many objects in the landscape. Now you cannot write landscape features because it is one word only. So correct answer is landscape. Question number 39. With modern cameras, it is possible to photograph not only constellations but also dash. Now answer will come with constellations. Yes, paragraph C. With today's cameras, today means modern cameras, far greater detail can be rendered. Whole constellations consisting of thousands of points of starlight filling the frame and even galaxies. Exactly, and even galaxies. So, right answer is galaxies, constellations and galaxies. You must be thinking, if I get this reading in my actual exam, no problem. Okay, yeah. Question number 40. Deer and wild boar may search for food in dash in towns. It's a location in town. Clue word is deer and wild boars. Look for deer and wild boars. Deer and wild boars. Come on, scan it. Scan it. Well done. Second page, third line after full stop. Well done. Third page, second line after full stop. Deer and wild boar are larger mammals that have also adapted to the urban fringes in recent years, emerging from the cover of parks and nearby forests to forage in residential gardens by night. Now, what's the question? Deer and wild boar may search for food in gardens in towns. So, answer is gardens. Now, let's read again and we see why gardens. Deer and wild boar are larger mammals that have also adapted to the urban fringes in recent years, emerging from the cover of parks. So, they emerge from the cover of parks and nearby forests to forage in residential. So, to forage. Forage means to come in the search of food in residential gardens by night. For residential gardens, they use the word gardens in town. Gardens in town are residential gardens. Like, you know, near your home there is a park and all that. So, correct answer is gardens. Okay, now we are going to do list of headings. So, let's make a start. Well, for list of headings, the reading skill which you need is called skim reading. Skim reading is to quickly read the paragraph, and when you quickly read the paragraph for skim reading, always remember first sentence, middle sentence and the last sentence, they are important. When you skim read the passage, you need to think that I'm looking for the main idea of this paragraph, and that main idea is sometimes in the very first sentence. You will find heading easily. Sometimes it is in the second or third sentence, or otherwise they conclude with the main idea, right? Now, what do you need to do? Another important point, you should learn how to read and interpret the heading. It's very important to read and interpret the heading. Interpret the heading means what type of information I need to look for where this heading will go, right? So I tell you how to do that. First, we read list of headings. Heading number 1, how chance contributes to conditions being right. Chance contributes to conditions being right. So if they say by chance the weather is good, that is a good condition. And remember, we are reading about night photography in autumn. So all these headings are related to photography. Heading number 2, concern about the changing environment. In one paragraph, they will show their concern about global warming, climate change and all that. Only we are reading headings now. We will find them later. Okay. Heading number 3, process of photographing animals at night is getting easier. In one paragraph, they will say it's quite simple, straightforward, easy and all that, right? And okay. Yeah. Let's go on. Next heading is how human developments are affecting wildlife. Human developments are construction of roads, bridges, houses, and it is affecting wildlife. Heading number 5, photographing objects that can't be seen in detail. So maybe the night photography or anything like that. Heading number 6, season that may seem unsuitable for photographs. In one paragraph, they will talk about a season which is unsuitable for photographs. Heading number 7, no longer too expensive. Something which is not expensive anymore. No longer too expensive means now it is cheap. Now it is not expensive. Heading number 8, less ambitious approach. And by the way, I have read this heading somewhere also. In another test, you might have read that also. Less ambitious approach means an approach which you don't like, which you're not in favor. So that is called less ambitious approach. Now we come to paragraph A. And by the way, whenever you do list of headings, it's a very good idea to start with the short paragraph, the shortest paragraph. So which one is the shortest paragraph here? Okay, paragraph F and paragraph G. They are the shortest one. Even E. Okay, now let's see one thing. Alright, they have used the word section. And one section may contain 2 paragraphs. One section may contain 2 paragraphs as well. So let's start it in the same order. But anyways, in exam, I advise you to start it from the shortest paragraph and then you can go on. But let's just go on as I'm recording the class as well. So otherwise students will get confused. Paragraph A. November in the northern hemisphere is not the most inspiring of months for photographer. Which heading? 6. Well done. Excellent. See that? And then you will say list of heading is very simple. You read first sentence and you find the answer. It's not always, okay? So heading number 6, question number 28, paragraph A. Now what are you going to do? You should cross heading number 6. Otherwise you will use one heading twice. And when you'll be transferring your answer to the answer sheet, then you will realize that, okay? Alright, so do we have to read paragraph A anymore? No, we found the heading. Now please come to paragraph B. As the most noticeable object in the night sky, the moon is an obvious subject when making your initial attempts at night photography. The timing of an evening moonrise is important to know because not only does it vary according to the time, we read it already. I'm reading it from to capture the moon. Found it? Yes, to capture the moon at its brilliant best, you need a bit of luck too. A time when its bright phase, a full moon, coincides with the ideal weather. Coincides means chances when the weather is ideal or environment is ideal. Coincides with the ideal weather forecast of a cloudless night sky. Heading number 1, how chance contributes to conditions being right. And just read this sentence. To capture the moon, it is brilliant best. You need a bit of luck. Bit of luck means chance. 2. A time when it is brightest phase, a full moon coincides with the ideal weather. Coincides with ideal weather, it is also chance. So, question number 29, heading number 1, how chance contributes to conditions being right. Now, please cross heading number 1 as well. Okay, we move on to paragraph C. With today's camera, far greater detail can be rendered. We read it, and by the way, the information that you've read already and you have found the answer to a question, just ignore that and go on. Now I'm reading paragraph C, third line after full stop. This is a type of night photography for which few of us had suitable equipments a decade ago, but now it has become accessible to all photographers thanks to the much improved affordable technology. Heading number 7, no longer too expensive for affordable technology. Affordable means no longer too expensive, and for no longer they use the word decades ago. Decades ago means in the past that was expensive, but now it is not. So question number 30, section C, heading number 7. Please cross 7 also from the list. Now we move on to paragraph D. Of course, the nocturnal world offers other subjects closer to the ground, some that are even familiar to us by day. As cities and towns spread further into our green spaces, some wild animals move further afield to escape our intrusions. Human development, and what is that? Cities and towns spread further into our greenscapes. Heading number 4, well done. How human developments are affecting wildlife, and what is the effect on wildlife? Some wild animals move further afield. Move further afield means they've gone back in the forests, right? Further afield to escape our intrusions. So correct answer for paragraph D is heading number 4, and we are going to cross heading number 4 as well. Okay, now please come to paragraph E. Such is the proliferation of urban wildlife that some photographers now specialize in documenting the nocturnal animals that have developed a taste for city nightlife. The improvement in camera technology that has made night sky images more accessible has also extended the creative repertoire of the wildlife photographer. It is now possible to photograph some wild species at night or soon after dusk without having to always resort to use a specialist equipment. Heading 3, it is now possible to photograph some wild species. So heading number 3 is process of photographing animals at night is getting easier. What is for easier? It is now possible to photograph some wild species at night or soon after dusk without having to always resort to the use of specialist equipment. So without use of specialist equipment means it is now easy. So question number 32, heading number 3. Okay, now we've got question number 33, paragraph F. If all that sounds a bit too complex and time consuming with too many variables to spoil the hoped for result, then consider using the fading light of the night sky in the brief time after dusk in a more opportunist manner. See if something matches. If that all sounds a bit too complex, now just focus, bit too complex, time consuming, too many variables to spoil. Heading number 8, less ambitious approach. For less ambitious, they use the word complex, time consuming, too many variables, and all that. So heading number 8 is with question number 33, and it is F. Now what are we left with? Okay. All right, now we are doing paragraph F, right? Sorry, G. While many of us shoot sunsets, the period of dusk also provides an opportunity to use the ambient light low in the sky as a backdrop to photographing foreground subjects in varying stages of illumination or even as shadowy outline against the fading sky. All right. The variety of possible subjects includes ships at sea, flocks of low-lying birds, trees, windmills, skyscrapers and high bridges. These are all well known by day, but against the night sky, now they're talking about night, at dusk they lack color. So any compositional strength is determined by the graphic appeal of their distinct and recognizable shapes. Okay, heading number 2 is concern about the changing environment. No, they did not mention the environment. Heading number 5, photographing objects that cannot be seen in detail. When it is night, you cannot see them in detail. Please come back to the paragraph. When they use the word, these are all well known by day, but against the night sky at dusk, they lack color. They lack color. So what does it mean? They lack color means photographing objects that cannot be seen. Cannot be seen in detail means they lack color. So any compositional strength is determined by the graphic appeal. Question number 34, correct answer is heading number 5. Now which heading is extra? Second. You guys are lucky that there is one extra heading. Otherwise they give you 2 extra headings. If there are 5 headings, they will give you 2 extra headings. If there are 7 headings, they will give you 3 extra headings. So those 3 extra headings should be avoided. Okay? Thank you.